I'm going to talk to you about some physics, and these are things that I basically talk to my art students, and it's physics and like how it is applied into art, into our paintings. And okay, when we paint, we talk a lot about lost and found edges, like how an object can be partly merged or diffused, like into the background or with other objects in the painting. And so that's correct in like physics terms, like in modern physics, like we talk about like how each object is basically how to say it simple, like an energy field or electrical field. So like we see the world, we represent, our brain represents the world, the objects in the world, like in a very clear and defined way. Like we see a pen, we see like a very clear shape of the pen, like see the boundaries, and but that's not how the way we see things, the way our brain represents things, that's not how they are, they really are. Okay, so so basically this pen is like an energy field, and like when I hold this pen, although we see like a distinct separation between the pen and my fingers, there is no such distinct separation like in reality. Like my energy field, my hands energy field is partly merged with the energy field of the pen. So so there is no distinct and like real boundaries like in the real world. So in painting, like when we like merge or diffuse our objects in the painting, like with other objects or with the background or whatever, and we do what we call the lost and found edges, or like soft, sharp edges. That's the correct thing to do. Like that's how physics really works, because part of the things are really merged and really diffused into other things that they are surrounded by or in contact with. We basically see objects as separate things, like that each object stands on its own, and that's not how it works in reality, because like in reality each object is basically, whether the object is liquid or air or solid object, each object is like an energy field. Each object is an energy field. It's an electrical field, and it is affected by the fields that surround it. So when I hold the book, the energy field of my hands is basically partly merged into the energy field of the book, despite the fact that this is like I'm a living creature and this is like this solid still life. Okay, we are partly merged. Okay, our electrical parts are partly merged when I touch this book. So there is no like distinct separation between my hands and the book while I hold it. Okay, the fields are like they are arranged in a shape, but it's not the way like we see it. Like it's not like a real clear defined shape that our brain represents it. If I hold this pen, you can say that I'm partly inside this pen and this pen is partly inside my hands, because our energy fields are partly merged when I hold it. Okay, so basically everything that is around us is like fields of energy, all the objects that surround us, and there is no like clear separation, clear boundaries, clear distinction between these fields, despite the fact that we represent the world by like distinct shapes and distinct boundaries, and so like so this is what I tell my students, like when we paint, we basically apply real physics into our painting, because like when we use the soft and sharp edges, and we use the lost and found edges, the parts of the objects that we define clearly, these are usually the parts that is like our main interest in the object, the part that we focus on, or we want our viewer to focus on. So we put there some hard edges, sharp edges, and then the other parts of the painting usually have a more soft edges, lost edges, like they are merged or diffused like into other objects or into the background that are not they are like those fields of energy that we talked about. And that's really, I think it's really a nice way like to see the reality, that things are not like really separated from each other, from one another. It's all like connected. Like the world is like this huge energy field, and like inside it each object has its own energy field. So basically there are like a composition of a painting is basically a composition of energy fields or electrical fields inside a larger energy field. And so this is how we should see things when we paint them. This is how I tell my students to see things when they paint them. And so that's it. That's what I wanted to talk about. So you all have a great day, and I hope this was interesting for you. And that's it. Bye.